Hi guys, I know it's been a couple of days since I put anything up. It Playing the waiting game is always fun. I mean, sometimes you just have to wait to go between appointments, and there really isn't anything to report on it other than you're playing the waiting game. Maybe going for walks, running errands, antsy, trying to figure out what to do with your time, what you can do with your time. Just see this around. We're going to watch so many movies and do so much, and you're like, okay, what now? Um, of course, constantly wanting answers. I think that's sometimes the hardest part of for any treatment, right? For anything we go through, it's the wanting of the answers. Sometimes you have the answer, and it's like, well, I want more details on the answer, and sometimes you just don't want any, and you're left with your thoughts, and which I think sometimes is the worst thing, right? Because you don't know what you don't know, which sucks. At the same time, you do know stuff, and you're like, okay, how do I process it? Um, and then sometimes the stuff you do know, you're like, okay, I got this answer. I'm not a doctor. I mean, I try to explain it, but you kind of have to just just hand yourself over, to the plan. Not to say you can't ask questions about the plan. So you try to understand as best you can, but you almost just have to, I don't want to say blindly trust, but kind of trust in the process. There you go. There it is. More trust in the process, and trust in experience, and trust in how things have changed over time. You know. So like today, met with an oncologist. It was a busy day today. I didn't get much rest. I was exhausted at the end of it all, I guess. Um, met with my oncologist, where he kind of goes through, hey, these is what we're thinking. Well, not what we're thinking of plan, but this is potentially where we're going. We have still have a couple of scans to go, and canceled one and set one up. But as he reviews the chart and stuff, he actually recommended seeing a more specialized specialist for I guess cancer in the brain, neurocancer. I guess neurocancer. Anyhow, cancer in the brain area, especially with I'll just call it LM. So, and I say cancer in the brain. Well, that's where the tumor is, and stuff. But anyhow, I'm not debilitated or anything like that, guys. Certain things I'm just not allowed to do. Not allowed to do intense exercises. Not allowed to go back to work. Currently, I mean, all that can change in a few weeks. Just as we work the process. Just right now, they got you. They got me sitting there. So you try to make the best of it. But anyhow, so it set me up with another specialist I have to go see. So if that person agrees with the plan, then we'll move forward with that. Should be seeing them next week. Yeah, and then figure out what happens from there. The funny thing I was thinking too while in the office. So this is my third. I want to say it's my third bout of cancer, but it's kind of like there was the original that happened 20, let's just say 20 years ago. The exact date I'd have to pull it up. One would think, oh, those are printed in your head. Not this head of mine. I got other things printed in there, and that. I think when I went through this in my 20s, you almost wanted to go through it, get that note. Yeah, you go through it, And then you go through all your scans and stuff for the year after that to verify there's nothing. And then you go through checkups and scans for the next 5 years, because after a year, my understanding is that they say you're in remission. So then you do a remission tour, and then you hit the 5 years, and then they consider you cured. Hey! Now, and I probably mentioned this before, at the time the doctor had said, hey, within the next 20 years, there is a potential you will have a higher likelihood of getting some sort of cancer again, because you've been through it. He said with anyone, I mean, I guess it's just the treatments at the time too, right? Things have changed these days, so things have gotten a little bit more conservative. But at the time, they do what they do the best they can. And, at the end of the day, nothing's 100%. I mean, I guess if they totally got me. So, I think I always had it in the back of my mind as the clock spins down, or spins up, or just spins. There's that potential in there. But of course, hearing you're cured, do you think you're invincible? Or just think you're the exceptions. And then round 2 comes up, and you go through that, and you make it through on the other side, and there you go. You're like, I was hoping I would do it. It won't be 20 years. I'd have just been done with it. But no, it comes when you go through the treatments and you do what has to get done, and you think, all right, at the very least, I get another 20 years. And maybe I'll have to go through it again. And at that point, well, we'll see what happens. Anyhow, so, but not 20 years, not even 10. It's a year later, and then something else. The thing about it is that had I not done the treatments for the first one, I wouldn't be here for the second one. So if you're looking bright side of this, I got 20. I got those that time, right? Got to meet a lot of great people. Got married. Got great kids. Got everything. So even if all I got was the 20 years, I still got amazing stuff. But then you think, all right, you did this treatment. You got 20 years. What other things you have to do 20 years? And boom. You got, it happens again a year later. Now, like I said, I probably said this before. The treatment that was used for first time, there's a high likelihood of what caused the second one. But that was the treatment at the time. So, and this third one is more of a 2.1 as opposed to a third one. And it's just, like the doctor said, there was just nothing you could do, because, again, the treatment from the first one, at the time, based on recommendations and protocols and stuff like that, that's what you had to do. Would they do it today, 20 years, something years different? Yes. Certain aspects, they would not do as much radiation. If they could, they would do extra bouts of chemo. They would do this, but they have to go with the science they have at the time, the technology they have at the time. Trying to judge things based on today's technology and science and stuff it's enough to drive you batshit crazy, which I try not to. You try not to sit here and your thoughts, and you spin yourself up, and you're like, but what if we did this, and what if we did? All you got is the here and now, and the path forward. You can't, if we can go back in time and did something, I mean, who knows what else would change, right? But all we got is the here and now, so we make the best of it and go from there and try to do right, own the shit you did wrong, and try to make things better moving forward. Yeah, that's what I try to do. Not always successful at it, but you try. Um, as you're older, you realize, hey, some of that other stuff wasn't worth it. And keep trying. So yeah, not to go down some sad road, not really sad. But anyway, so yeah, so visit the oncologist, and like you said, he's like, yes, based on 20 years ago, if we had the same diagnosis today, he would treat you a little bit differently, which would reduce the risk of what happened last year a lot, and then this year. Great. I think I knew that answer. It's kind of nice to hear it from him. But even if you can answer that, I think I'd just be like, you know, I'd figured that's the answer. I mean, like you said, it's just the luck of the draw. Just the luck of the draw. There's no guarantees once he gets the shit that something's not gonna go somewhere else. So no need to live in the what if you did this, what if you did that, what if what. You can't change it. So did that, and then spent some time with him, and then after that had to run around yeah, you're like, okay, what else do we do? And you find yourself trying to do things, enjoy life. Went to this place down, what's it called? I'd have to look it up. Name the Moors, I think it's a restaurant down there. Interesting. I don't know if anyone's been down to the Moors area. People live in Florida, South Orlando. Other than the hospitals, there's some houses around there. There's not a whole lot of anything out there. I mean, I swear you listen on the news and stuff like that, you think there's this new community bustling with life and stuff like that. Man, it's like a dead zone. And to get there, it's like an hour, it feels like, to do what? And I did find a nice restaurant, and I was surprised the food was as good as it was. Oh, I think it's called Black Crow? I'd have to look it up. So food was really good there. I had bird bitos. My brain is not working right now. But yeah, with a salad, good stuff. Good stuff. I would recommend it. Other than the location, maybe need to put another one of those closer to the center of Orlando. I think they would kill it. But yeah. So between that and then, because my son's in sports, mainly soccer, wanted to get an EKG just for verification. I mean, there was no signs or anything, but I'm not a doctor, so since we're in the area, had him do just a check. I mean, it's just make sure, hey, everything in the ticker is taken away. Okay. And that came back on a positive note, so yeah, it's pretty cool. But that being said, it's just it ends up all being a full day. At the end of it all, you find yourself looking forward to a nap in the middle of it all, and you can't get that, so you're just exhausted at the end of it all. But still made it through. But other than that, now it's like back to playing that waiting game till next appointment. Scans and things like that. Okay, I did figure out the name of the place. It's called Park Pizza and Brewing Company, and it had this bacon bird sandwich with Asiago salad. It was yummy. The dressing on the salad, I have to figure that out. That was really good stuff. So shout out to Park Pizza Brewing Company. I didn't have a beer though. I really wanted one. Not allowed to drink yet. I think because of the medicine, yeah. But, well, not, I think, because of the medicine. Oh well, no big deal. Whatever. Drinking ain't that good for you. Actually, just calm the nerves. Maybe it won't, maybe I wouldn't think as much. Maybe that's why I'm not drinking, because I do need to think as much. And so that's way before doing the other thing. And then after all that, just came back home. Again, watch a movie and just chill out, go through stuff. This That's just a day. Um, most days when there's nothing to do, you walk around. We got a trail close by. Try to go there. I think not being sedentary and just trying to stay active as best as possible is the best thing. Kind of keeps your mind clear. And just sit around, you kind of do too much thinking. I'm telling you, thinking. One should avoid that as much as possible. Well, that's kind of where things are for today. See what tomorrow brings. Of course, the holidays coming up. So something I wanted to say to folks out there, it's thank you. You know, means a lot. Uh, means a lot to me. Means a lot to family. That people send their thoughts and just say hi and just checking in, and folks want to help. Um, we other than saying hi, man, if you have time, you want to look at these videos, give a thumbs up. That's great. Other than that, we're not. There's nothing we need. Again, thank you for wanting to, partake or help or however. It's hard. I'm not very good at. I love helping people. I'm not very good at accepting help. I don't know if that can come across insulting to folks. It's not about that. It's just it's always been my nature. Somebody asks for help, I try to find a way to help. I want to help. I don't always help the right way. Sometimes I think I make it worse. I just want to, but when things are on the flip side, it is tough. I think it's tougher to. There's a lot of tougher to accept help, especially when you don't feel like you need it. Like there's so many people out there that deserve so much more. Yeah, that's it. There's so many people out there that deserve so much more. Well, there's so many people out there that just deserve it, even if it's a little bit. I know, like, I mean, I'm grateful for all I have. I am very much that happy and grateful for all that I have. So to when folks want to help, I'm like, thank you, but I mean, I that's why I said, hey, you want to talk about it? I am stoked. That's exciting for me. That helps. That's just want to put it out there. But folks that want to do things, thank you so much. Thank you. Um, it's kind of. I just want to put that out there, guys. Thank you.